My name is Richard, and I don't seem to be wired quite the right way. I've accepted that, and I live with that. The thing is, I drink human blood. My dad is a doctor, so getting blood has never been a problem. I don't really recall when it all began. When I was a kid, I guess. I bruised my knee, and some blood splashed on my tongue. This made me zone out. I felt a bit dizzy, and then kind of high. Human blood tastes salty-ish. Some are sick just at the sight of it, but I am attracted by it. I often watch horror movies and get a kick out of seeing blood. At first, getting blood wasn't easy. Once, when I was at my dad's workplace, I discovered there was so much blood for transfusion. I snatched a couple of bags to gorge on it at home. When I searched for like-minded types on the web, I found a whole community of blood-loving people who hang out in real life. As you may guess, I decided to go and meet them. I imagined those guys to be pale and plain-looking. I was the youngest among them, and I was literally dying of curiosity. The club leader, a guy named Garrett, stood up and asked the others to welcome a new member. That is, myself. He asked me to say a few words about my passion for blood. My dad found out about me going there. I was only 14, and I used to run away from home quite often. He knew that, but he found a ticket to the club meeting in my room. You should have seen the look on his face. Dad said that nothing good would come out of that. Blood helps me take my mind off my problems. Its salty-ish taste soothes me. Knowing there were a lot of people like me out there helped me big time. I got addicted to that club. I asked them to send me invites not by post, but via email. The next meeting was planned for Sunday. I started getting ready for it, and the blood I had been stealing from my dad's hospital was very helpful. I discovered that type B blood tasted best. It is really different from type O, and even more so from type A. On my worst days, I would drink any blood. Just imagine, going to school, being all smiles, getting good grades, being everyone's friend, without all those people knowing that I drink blood. This is kind of exciting. On Sunday, I went to the club meeting, only to discover that it had been canceled. I met a girl named Nancy, who was sticking around there. I asked her which blood type she was into. She said, type B. So, this is how we became friends. I stopped attending the club, and instead hung out with Nancy quite frequently. She was a couple of years older than me. Sometimes we would lock ourselves up in a hospital unit with lots and lots of blood. Obviously, my dad wasn't aware of that. I would just steal the keys and then bring them back later. The passion for blood wasn't the only thing Nancy and I had in common. We also both loved watching anime, drawing, and daydreaming. Nancy spiced it all up for me. I decided to introduce Nancy to my dad. I trusted her 100%. We shared a secret no one should find out about. I started feeling nervous again. You know, it's my anxiety that made me drink blood in the first place. It helps me lose myself. Some people drink alcohol, but Nancy and I chose blood. Is there anything bad about it? It's just blood. I neither kill nor harm anyone. There was loads of it in my dad's hospital. So, Nancy came around wearing a black dress. I asked her to sit down at the table. As usual, my dad started making jokes. His sense of humor is very sharp, and not everyone can get it. We were having the meal my dad had cooked and chatting. Nancy seemed so cute. My dad didn't really care she was older than me. Nancy told us she was into making depressive paintings. Dad was all ears. It was obvious he liked Nancy. It was a nice dinner. I never knew my dad could be that sweet. And then all of a sudden, he asked Nancy, "How did you guys meet?" Nancy paused for a bit. I thought she would come up with some romantic stuff. I wasn't worried at all. And how wrong I was. She simply told him the whole thing. About us meeting at the club, and about our blood drinking habit. My dad was listening to all that with his mouth open. His hand, with a fork in it, was shaking. When the fork fell on the floor, he didn't pick it up and just took another one. His lower lip was trembling. It looked as if my dad was about to explode. However, he managed to calm down, and the dinner went on. When Nancy left, Dad told me he didn't want her in our house ever again. As for my blood drinking, he said it was totally crazy. Dad argued that it would ruin his career, He's a successful doctor, the best in his field. My dad was furious. I got used to him making scenes, so I tried to detach myself and was hardly listening to him. Dad went on and on, calling me the black sheep of the family. When I visited Dad's office at the hospital again, I couldn't find the key from the blood bank in his table drawer. I freaked out. I should have made a duplicate key. I started blaming myself, Nancy, everyone else. This is when I realized I was addicted to blood. This had to stop. I tried to overcome the addiction, but I felt terrible the next day. I took a needle and pricked my finger, and blood dripped right on my tongue. I felt much better. I don't know if I'll find the key. If not, I just have no idea how to live anymore. I hope you don't think I'm crazy. Everybody has a weakness. Mine is blood, and I live with that.